off-the-shelf rules review, GOS, Grand Operational Simulation Series. V17, Command. Command represents the control hierarchy for each side's forces, from armies all the way down to individual units. All units, subformations, formations, and corps must be in command to operate without penalty. The two things that are critical for determining command status are assignment and command boundaries. If the requirement for either of these is not met, a headquarters and/or unit is considered out of command. Assignment. The concept of assignment or subordination simulates the military chain of command. In general, smaller units are assigned to larger units. Units are assigned to subformations or formations and sometimes directly to a corps or army headquarters. Subformations are assigned to formations or directly to a corps army. Formations are assigned to corps army. Corps are assigned to armies. Assignments are initially established by scenario rules. Within certain limits, players may change assignments or make new ones during the command phase. In most games, units that were assigned as corps or army asset units are noted with a corps or army name. These designations are for historical purposes only. Unless stated otherwise, players are free to assign these units to any available corps or army headquarters. Note, when changing assignments, players should understand that when large numbers of subordinate units are assigned to an HQ, that HQ becomes less efficient in providing logistics support to its units. Command boundaries. Units must be within the command boundaries of the HQ they are assigned. The area designated forms a zone of operations, ZOP, in which the units and formations of a corps, army, or army group may operate. Units that operate within 1 hex of a command boundary are in command no matter which side of the boundary they are on. Any unit of that command operating out of the above ZOP is out of command, OOC. Units subordinate to a subformation or formation HQ must operate within their HQ's assigned corps ZOP. Corps, army, or army group command boundaries are designated by scenario setup. Boundaries may be modified by the owning player during the command phase. Use as straight a line as possible, but with no more than 1 dogleg. Boundaries can be designated to follow a river line or a line of road hexes from one identified hex to another following the road. Extend boundaries into enemy territory a minimum of 10 hexes to some obvious geographic feature. If a unit enters enemy territory further than the 10 hexes, it may ignore command boundaries until the next command phase, after which the owning player must designate a corps or army boundary for the new front line. Interesting. Command definitions. Army HQ. An Army HQ can command any number of Corps HQ. However, the more Corps HQ assigned to an Army HQ, the less support that Army HQ is able to provide to each Corps. If an Army HQ is for any reason eliminated, all subordinate Corps HQ formations and/or units are considered OOC until the next command phase, when they can be reassigned. Note, in some games Army HQ may not be present. The Corps HQ are still considered assigned to an Army HQ. Note, in some games Army groups may not be designated and command boundaries required. AG HQ are not used and do not affect Gen S, ADV, or any other supply function other than to designate where its subordinate armies may operate. Corps HQ. A Corps HQ must be assigned to an Army HQ. A Corps HQ can command any number of formations. However, the more formations assigned to a Corps HQ, the less support that Corps HQ is able to provide to each formation. If a Corps HQ is for any reason eliminated, all subordinate formations and/or units are considered OOC until the next command phase, when they can be reassigned. Formation HQ. A formation, or BG, will always be assigned to an Army and/or Corps HQ. A formation HQ commands all units organic to that formation that are not detached, plus any attached units. Units that are subordinated to a formation BG are in command as long as they're assigned HQ, can trace Gen S path to them, and that HQ itself is not OOC. If a formation HQ is out of command, all units subordinated to it are also OOC. Formation type. All Axis tank panzer Panzer Grenadier, motorized divisions, and independent BGs of the type listed above are considered mech formations. Axis divisions and BG not listed above are considered leg formations. All Allied divisions and BGs are considered mech formations, including infantry and airborne divisions. Exception. Scenario rules may modify the above formation types. Designer's note. The various HQ counters in the game represent more than just the physical presence of the command post, that is, staff, communications, etc. More importantly, HQ represent the logistics support for the core formations and units under the command of that HQ. The Gen S ammunition, fuel, and command rules reflect this interaction of the command chain and the ability of the command structure to support combat units in the field. Formations. A formation is a discrete set of units that share the same unique formation ID, usually a number, in the upper right corner of their unit counter and have an actual HQ as part of their formation. A patch of color behind this number helps to color code a formation's units for easier identification. Some independent brigades have a formal organization with a HQ unit present and a varying number of units assigned. Divisions. Most formations are divisions. A unit marked with the formation's ID is organic to that formation. If the units are within Gen S distance of their HQ, and that HQ is in Gen S, the units are considered in command and in supply. Subformations. A subformation is a smaller subset of units that belong to a formation. Regiments, brigades, combat commands, regimental combat teams, and Kampfgruppen are all examples of subformations. Subformations generally do not have an HQ unit. Independent subformations. For simplicity and consistent terminology, independent subformations are referred to as battle groups, BGs. A subformation that is organic to a formation may be detached as an independent BG. Choose any one unit to act as that BG's headquarters. The BG is in command as long as it operates within its assigned corps' boundary. The BG HQ traces Gen S from its superior corps headquarters. Army and Corps Asset Units. Army or Corps Assets are units that have Corps or Army ID symbols printed on the upper right corner of their unit counters. In some games, Army or Corps Assets may not have the ID or symbol in the upper right-hand corner. However, these units are considered Army Corps Assets. These units are not organic to any formation, but instead are assigned to armies and corps. A player does not have to explicitly record their assignment. Instead, as long as they are operating within the boundaries of a corps or army that has not exceeded its command capacity, these units are in command. Note, for supply purposes, their supply path may trace from any HQ assigned to the same corps or army command. Designer's note, both sides have units that start a game or enter as reinforcements that are designated as attached directly to either army or corps. While a player does not have to assign them to a formation or subformation, normally with the exception of artillery units, it is wise to do so as soon as possible, due to a number of reasons, including ease of tracing Gen S, and more importantly, rules pertaining to multi-divisional combats. Command procedures. Determine command status of all units during the command phase. Command changes, including attaching and detaching units, can only be done during the command phase. Units may be attached to a formation or a subformation at the start of a friendly movement phase. In such cases, the attachments are considered emergency attachments, and the units may not conduct any form of GA. That is, they may defend only, nor may they spot for FS missions in the owning players immediately following combat phase, beginning at the start of the opposing side's turn. They operate normally. Command capacity. Army and Corps command capacities are a function of the supply system and are described fully in section 15.4.0. An HQ never commands enemy forces. Players may find it necessary to keep track of attachments using pencil and paper. I was wondering about that, so there's my answer. Note, scenario rules may further enhance or restrict the ability of players to attach their forces. Attachments and detachments. Independent units and units assigned to a particular formation may be detached and then attached to other formations. Attached units function exactly like organic units of the formation or BG they are currently attached. Formation attachment limit. No more than 6 units may be attached to a formation. No more than 4 of these units may be larger than one company, and no more than one may be an artillery unit. It's an awfully specific prescription. When attaching an entire subformation, all units attached to the subformation count toward the 6-unit total. Exception: if a single subformation consists of more than 6 organic units, that subformation may still be attached to a formation even if it exceeds the formation's attachment limit. However, no other units may then be attached to that formation. For example, 1st U.S. Infantry Division could attach CCA of the 2nd U.S. Armored Division. Consisting of the 4 hybrid units and 1 recon company, the 1st Division could still attach 1 company-sized unit from another division or any core army asset. Designer's note. Typically, a regiment or brigade plus some of the division's organic support units would be detached and then attached to another division for a specific purpose. This rule simulates that ability without allowing players to create huge divisions of more than 4 regiments or brigades. Special assignments. If a formation's units have been eliminated, other units of a like type may be assigned to the formation in their place. These units do not count against the formation's attachment limit. Example: the 176th Volksgrenadier or VG Division during the Hurtgen battles was assigned the 1218, 1219, and 1220 infantry regiments, 2 battalions each, plus the 176th Fusilier Battalion. All 3 organic regiments and the Fusilier Battalion start the game in the eliminated units box. The German player may assign up to 7 infantry-type battalions to the division to replace those eliminated battalions. U.S. tank and tank destroyers. It was common practice in the U.S. Army to attach a tank battalion and either a self-propelled or towed AT battalion semi-permanently to divisions. In some games, these battalions are noted with the division ID that they were historically assigned. The historical designation for these battalions is for historical information only. In other games, these battalions are marked with a white square where the division ID is found. Players may freely assign these battalions as noted below without regard for historical designations. Each U.S. infantry division may attach 1 tank and 1 self-propelled, TD, or towed AT battalion. These attachments do not count against the division's maximum attachment or fuel requirements. If more than 1 of each type battalion is assigned and or attached, the additional battalions do count against the division's attachment limit. Battle Group Attachment Limit. A BG may never have more than 6 units attached. No more than 4 of these units may be larger than 1 company, and no more than 1 of those units may be an artillery unit. That sounds familiar. A couple of exceptions. Detachment Limit. No more than 6 organic units may be detached from a formation. Exception. German MUs and leg formations. Axis mech units that are subordinate to leg formations, BG, must be stacked with or adjacent to a non-mech unit organic to the division in order to be in command. During the command phase, if such a unit does not fulfill the above condition, it is immediately marked out of supply, skipping on-hand supply status. No more than 3 Axis mech units may ever be attached to a leg formation. Each breakdown unit is counted as 1 unit for the purposes of this rule. Exception. Some leg divisions will have more than 3 organic mech units. In those cases, additional mech units may not be attached until there are less than 3 organic mech units remaining. Note: organic artillery does not count toward the 3 mech units. German rear echelon units. Scenario rules will identify what units, if any, are German rear echelon units. Also see the game's UTC. When they enter play, they are treated like core army asset units. These units may not attack unless stacked with participating non-RE unit or a leader. They never fulfill Combined Arms Requirements. U.S. Armored Cavalry Groups. Armored Cavalry Groups, CAV Group, are considered to be independent BGs. They may be attached to a larger formation. A CAV Group may contain no more than 3 battalions. British Armored Brigades. British Armored Brigades are considered a BG. They may be attached to a formation. British Armored Brigades may not attach additional units. German Kampfgruppen. German Kampfgruppen KG may have more than 6 organic units. They are still considered a BG. KG of more than 6 units may not attach additional units. German divisions may detach a single KG, even if above the 6-unit limit. Attachment and detachment. Units must be in command to be detached and/or attached. When attaching units to a HQ, the units being attached must be able to trace a Gen S path to the attaching headquarters. Units entering as reinforcements are automatically considered detached if they cannot trace a Gen S path to their parent formation headquarters. Units and/or BGs entering as reinforcements and whose formation HQ has yet to enter the game must be either attached to another formation or declared an independent subformation. Command and OOC penalties. A unit or formation that is out of command is immediately marked with an out-of-command marker. The marker is not removed until it is placed back in command. OOC penalties are as follows. All HQs, formations, BGs, and/or units subordinate to an OOC HQ are also OOC. OOC units cannot be placed in PA mode or exploit mode. OOC units may not act as observers for airstrikes, naval gunfire, or barrages that have artillery units from other formations or artillery units assigned to Corps or Army participating in them. OOC artillery units may not participate in a FS mission if the observer is from any other formation, including Corps or Army. OOC units may not be activated during ENA periods. OOC units move at 1/2 of their normal MA. OOC formations BG may not attach or detach units. Note, units may be OOC even if their corresponding headquarters is in command.